Exactly what he's allegedly conceding to. Let's bring in some of our experts. Shane Harris, president of the People's Association of Justice Advocates Alliance for Justice, joining us in the newsroom, and Republican strategist Barack Lurie joining us live via Zoom. Barack, let's start with you first. Here's the question. What is your party doing? What are they thinking?
Well, it's really a sad state of affairs. This is the consequence of having such a slim majority in the House, isn't it? And what happens is that you have now 20 or so people, because we don't have the cushion to avoid this, we have 20 or so congressmen and women who decide that this is a great opportunity for extortion to get committee chairmanships and otherwise to make some demands. That's the problem here, and it's really unfortunate. The last time we had anything like this was 100 years ago, but I suppose that was the same narrow majority back then as well. So we've got some problems, and I couldn't agree more.
An absolutely fractured party that's honestly looking for a lot of money from the super PACs, which is also what they're trying to get behind the scenes there. Shane, your party's got to be loving this, because at this point you've got Hakeem Jeffries and so much of what was considered a fractured Democratic Party as well, just out with the popcorn, watching the show and laughing.
Absolutely. I mean, I think for so many Democrats right now, they're getting the popcorn and they're popping bottles. I saw some pictures online. I think one of the most important parts of all of this is that I think Democrats are unified. We're showing great unity in the Democratic Party among who we select as our leader. But it's very clear that Republicans cannot even get their caucus together to figure out who's going to lead their caucus. And essentially, the work of the people is not getting done. And the only thing I will say on a bipartisan level that the American people are saying right now is, you know, we may need to consider pulling all these congressional members' pay. I bet you they'll find a speaker very quickly if we pulled their pay. It's like no work is getting done. The American people's business is not getting done. And I think that we've got to really look at the issue here when it comes to the bickering that's going on back and forth within the caucus and how it's stopping the country's work.
Well, me, quite personally, I'm going to ask, while they're sitting there watching everybody bickering, can they just get to work? Can they just get to work and forget all of that stuff?
They can't. They need a speaker.
But, I mean, can they go in their offices and get some stuff
They can't
set
even,
up? At least set up.
Swear in the new congressman.
They unfortunately got to stay on the floor, and the way that all of this works is they got to stay there, and they got to stay there until they get a speaker. And McCarthy has vowed that he's going to go as many votes as possible. He's not going to stand down. I think that this is a very big concern for all of us, because we have the rise in inflation that continues to be a concern, the work of how we deal with domestic and abroad, specifically Ukraine, and all of the other issues that our country is facing. And the American people need the Congress to work, not sitting on the floor bickering about who's going to lead the Congress. And I think the important part of all of this is that Democrats are showing great unity on this. I mean, at the end of the day, Hakeem Jeffries should just be selected Speaker of the House. I mean, because...
Well, he's not going to get the numbers either. It's a numbers game. Good luck getting from 212 to 218. Yep. But anyways,
I want Barack, Jeffries.
What does your party do now? What does Kevin McCarthy do? Does he continue to play this game? He's conceded so much now that it's almost ridiculous that he's standing as Speaker of the House with zero power. He's essentially being hostaged by 4 people, 2 of them being Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, well, look, it's a big problem. I do say that this too shall pass, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we will get a Speaker of the House. Things will move along, and this is what democracy is like. It's quite messy. And unfortunately, because of the slim majority, we're going to have this happen for a couple more tries. God willing, the right thing to do, in my opinion, is that McCarthy does step aside and allow somebody else who might be able to actually obtain the majority.
Byron Donalds?
I think Scalise. I think
Scalise would be my choice.
Yeah.
I think Scalise would be a very good unifier, and I think he would get the majority.
Kind of guy, you know, and he can play. I think too. There's a story there. He was shot. We know what happened to him. There's a comeback story. He becomes Speaker. So I think it'll be very interesting. But they've got to put all the ego aside and get a Speaker right now, because work of the country cannot get done. Congress members can't even be sworn in until, and this is the first time in 100 years we haven't had a Congress. We don't have a Congress right now. And all of us should be concerned about that.
That's a shame.
I agree, but this will get done.
And to your point, Barack, this happened about 100 years ago, and they went 2 months voting and voting until they finally elected a speaker. Hopefully we won't be seeing that happen again. Barack Lurie and Shane Harris, we appreciate both of you coming on the DMV Zone.
Thank you.
All right, and with all of this Kevin McCarthy talk, let's bring in our own Kevin McCarthy back in.